Welcome to the Socialette podcast, where we empower you with the marketing know-how you need to create the business of your dreams. I'm your host, Steph Taylor, and I'm a marketing nerd, Shiraz lover, and passport stamp collector. Join me as I dive into all things small business marketing and deliver them to you in bite-sized, fluff-free lessons every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Let's get learning. Hey, welcome to Socialette. This is episode 159. This episode is brought to you by my new and improved marketing masterclass, 5 Steps to Your Next 10K, Your Stress-Free Marketing Roadmap. Join me in this masterclass where I'll share my 5-step roadmap to go from winging your marketing and doing all of the things to taking strategic action that attracts customers and clients. I'll also share my sanity-saving strategy to focus on your marketing priorities and streamline your to-do list because you do not need more things to do. Head to stephtaylor.co/masterclass to save your seat. Okay, on to the episode. This episode, I'm looking at when things don't go to plan. I had such big plans for 2019. I was going to launch so many new products, kick so many goals, travel to so many places, and now it's nearly June and I feel like I've achieved pretty much nothing. There's this quote that I love, some days you're the hammer, some days you're the nail. And let's just say that I feel like I've been the nail more often than I've been the hammer this year. I don't know if any of you have been feeling like this, but certainly a few of the business friends I've spoken to have been feeling like this. But you know what? 2019 is nowhere near over yet. We still have like 7 months left. So this episode is all about reflecting on the year so far and planning for the rest of 2019. If you've been feeling stuck or disheartened or just not completely happy with where you're at with your business or your life this year, this is a good listen for you. So I started 2019 with a word of the year, intention. And I feel like this word kind of went out the window sometime around mid-January. I'd planned to be so intentional with everything, from the books I was reading on my reading list to exactly which big goals I was going to chew off each month. And the thing is, both life and business have thrown me a bunch of curveballs this year. So a lot of what I've done has been reactive. It's definitely not been proactive or intentional. However, these curveballs have also resulted in a lot of personal growth and, in a way, also business growth. The biggest curveball that I've had so far this year was in early April when my grandfather passed away. He was 92, so it wasn't exactly unexpected, but the timing could not have been any worse. My mum's an only child and I'm the only grandchild, and my parents were in the USA when it happened, so I had to fly back to New Zealand urgently to look after my grandma as she doesn't drive, she doesn't speak a whole lot of English, so she's pretty isolated, right? So you might have noticed there were a few weeks in April where I published absolutely no podcast episodes, and to be honest, I didn't really do a whole lot of work at all while I was in New Zealand with my family, and I mean, like I should have, maybe I could have, but I'm okay with the fact that I didn't do any while I was there, but this did put me way behind on pretty much everything that I'd planned to launch this year. But on the plus side, I now know that I can actually take a significant amount of time away from my business and the wheels won't fall off. Like obviously I was still replying to emails and dealing with customer service things, but the wheels in general didn't fall off. So anyway, I'm making the executive decision to change my word of the year to growth. Now, I also wanted to take some time to reflect on the wins so far, and I really want you to do this with your 2019 as well, because it's so easy to be hard on yourself and focus on the things that haven't gone to plan, but it's so important to celebrate the wins as well. I've spent most of this year so far refining my marketing funnels, which is something that I thought would take, like a month to do. Good one, Steph. It has not taken a month. In fact, I've done a lot of refining this year. Like I've redone all my sales pages, my free downloads, masterclasses. I've moved systems to ones that will be a bit more scalable when I grow the business a bit more. And I'm also super close to launching my Instagram marketing course. And this has been a lot of work. I was planning on launching that one back in March and then launching my big signature course in June. Again, might have been a little bit overly ambitious with that one. In a way, 2019 has been my year of slowing down. It's my first year where I haven't been tied to customer or client deadlines. And this has meant that my anxiety levels are the lowest they've been since I got my first job. And it's meant that I've been able to prioritize my health and fitness as well, because now I actually have the time to do that. I have the time to read and do courses and focus on myself a bit. And it's a really nice change. It feels good. This has come at the cost of not launching my courses when I'd planned to do so, though, because I could have been pushing myself to work 12, 14-hour days, and I could have launched those courses a lot quicker than I have. But I've made peace with the fact that it's going to take a lot longer. And I'm going to make sure that I work extra hard the rest of this year to get them out into the world as soon as possible, because they're going to be good. So this brings me to an amazing conversation that I had with a friend of mine, Claire Wood, who happens to be a business coach, and she is always full of amazing wisdom. We actually did an interview on this podcast way back last year, probably almost a year ago now. But anyway, so we caught up for a wine recently, and I was complaining about how there was just so much work involved in creating a course and how I want it to be amazing and 120% perfect before I launch it. And Claire told me, like in her usual tough love style, that I need to let go of this need for things to always be perfect, because done is so much better than perfect. I've always struggled with this because everything I put out there is like an extension of myself, especially now that I'm building my business solely under my personal brand. But for the rest of 2019, I'm going to let go of this need for perfection. I know I'm not the only one who does this, so I hope that you'll add this to your 2019 mid-year resolutions as well. Okay, now I want you to take 15 minutes to check in with yourself and check in with your 2019 so far. Maybe grab a pen and paper or your journal and just reflect on these questions. Firstly, what have been your biggest wins so far in 2019? Like I said, it's so easy to forget that we've had those successes and to just focus on the things that haven't gone so well. But sometimes you need to celebrate the things that have gone well, even if they're just little ones. And then next question, what hasn't gone as well as you'd hoped? Then what can you do better in the second half of 2019? And lastly, what are your goals for the rest of the year? What do you want to achieve? That's it for this episode. Here's to a great second half of this year, even though we're not quite halfway yet. Make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes released every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And if you've got 2 seconds, I'd really appreciate a quick rating and a review in iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Thanks so much for listening, guys. Catch you next time.